Let me try to push you out to YouTube. You should be going out to YouTube, Tom.
Okay. Well, I'd like to open the meeting. Welcome, everyone. Advisory Committee meeting, November 19th, 2020. Start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, as you can see, we do not have a quorum for tonight's meeting. Had a couple members that are unable to make it this evening, but most importantly also, we have two vacancies on the advisory board still that have yet to be filled. I know we're coming up on halfway here through the fiscal year, and if anyone out there is interested in these positions, be very helpful to the town, to this committee, and to the finances of the community to try to join, express your interest. You don't have to have any background. You just need to be willing to listen and use some common sense and try to help move the town forward. So that would be something that I would love to see some people do. We can't have any votes tonight, but there are a couple of things just to go through that we can discuss a little bit. As far as the budget information, I'd like to apologize to Amy for not completely sending her email and that request out to on the accounts to Adam at first. We did discuss it a little differently at the meeting that she was unable to attend. But since we have sent that on, we have started to get a couple of the updates from a couple of the departments back, which I did forward on. We got some from the, I believe it was DPW, and from the library, I believe it is. The accounts from the highway department that were discussed about, they anticipated doing more drainage work and ran out of time basically to do so. And along with that, some of the other stuff was covered under Chapter 90 work is what they said on their intergovernmental account from last fiscal year. The other one that we did hear back from was the library and the senior services. Library's budget was affected by COVID from mid-March through June 30th in multiple ways. Reduction in staff hours, resulting in unexpended salary line items, and a freeze in ordering new materials for 2 months, followed by a very small June materials order, left them with a unexpended supplies line item. Also canceled 2 regional library conferences, resulting in unexpended support line items for them, which I think that's a really good explanation from them, in my opinion. Senior services, the senior center's budget was affected by COVID from mid-March through June, with several staff resignations and 1 unfilled position, resulting in an unexpended salary line item, and MCOA conference and spring seminars canceled, resulting in support line item overages. Programs canceled after the senior center closure resulted in unexpended purchase items, and the transportation was suspended after the senior center closed, resulting in unexpended supplies for the line item. There have been the other department heads have been reached out to on the ones in question, and we did get a little bit of an explanation back also on the finance capital projects. I know that's something I think actually was kind of in everybody's mind once we started looking at it, how much extra money was actually unexpended from all these past fiscal years, some things going back to 2017. couple of the articles, the older ones from 2017, the mini split at Town Hall. The status was on that project is they're waiting for Green Communities grant to see if that is going to be covered. The scholarship says it's going to be used in sequence years. The annual assessor's revaluation is used sequentially. There was a couple other larger ones that were a couple unknown one at the recreation for 10,000. Fall town meeting in 2018 had some pending kitchen completions at the senior center and the Templeton Center Fire Station. And then there was some small ones on more recent articles in 2019 and 23. Still a lot of projects out there. I think that from what Adam had said, he's going to, as they're doing the budget process, discuss all these capital articles for each department with them and bring that to both us and to the select board. I think that hopefully that will get more justification on it. I know we had there's a few other departments that we had asked for, and hopefully we'll receive those by our next meeting. I don't know if you...
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
What happens so for some of these capital expenses, those were line items at town meetings for the money to be expended and for that to follow through. I actually don't remember what happens to that money. I've noticed on some of the lines there was like a discrepancy, like they asked for a certain amount of money and it just didn't cost that much. So there's a difference, and there was a tally of the difference, and it's not astronomical, but there's money left. Does that roll into free cash? When does it roll into free cash? And then I guess the other part of it is if that money has been voted by town meeting, like for the mini splits, what would then happen if there's a grant that comes in for it, but the money's been allocated by the town to spend it? Like, I don't understand why the delay, I guess.
I know as far as if something came through and they didn't spend all the money, I think basically the determination is it should be the department head, I would think, that has notified either the treasurer or the town manager that project's completed. The remaining funds, if there's funds remaining, would be returned to free cash and certified for the following fiscal year. As far as if it's voted on a line item, sometimes with grants, it specifies if it's already been allocated that you can't use that. I know some of the federal fire grants, however, some of the other grants, sometimes as the community is doing different projects and they qualify for something different, then that money, I believe, would be, again, kind of like the project would be completed by another agency. Then it would, I believe, also return. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know the first one would go back to free cash if it's not spent, as far as because the project, hopefully, it'd be great if every project costs a little less than what we thought it would. So the one thing they can't do is flip-flop between from this project to this fiscal year to another project to another fiscal year for another department. So we can't really juggle that, but I believe that's how those would be handled as far as that goes.
Okay, thanks.
We had sent out the first quarter financials, which actually looked pretty good. I was actually looking at a couple of the things, and it looks like over the first quarter, we're actually a couple percentage points ahead as far as revenues. So I think that's actually from what we, as far as the quarter-wise goes. We still have quite a few taxes out and all that, but I think we're going to discuss it a little more once we have the full board here. But it's it's something that it's better than being quickly looking at it and being 20 points behind. So I think that's a good direction. Hopefully we can make it through this next round of stuff and still keep going forward on that. I think things are going to be a little tighter for some of the area businesses and that. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight, and we won't really be able to vote on it in that, I do think next meeting I'd love to see us as a board potentially discuss a possibility on the town to the Board of Selectmen, to the town doing like a lot of the other towns have done on the waiving license fees on some of the fees. Even though it reduces our revenue, it's something that we got some businesses in town that just plain haven't been able to, your liquor licenses were approving unless they have a restaurant that they can sit in all the time. Even then, they're not able to do a lot of their business that they normally would. Some of your clubs, your legions, these type of places, they're hemorrhaging money and they just don't have the money coming in. So I think some of these, even though it's not a large amount, some of these things might be something that we could potentially talk about as a town, helping each other. I will see what the whole board says, but something to kind of think about, I think, as we move forward. Unfortunately, that we have to think about those kind of things at this point. But
I think, didn't I see an email that those license requests are due for those businesses by December 2nd, which means our next meeting would be after that.
the inspections are due, and the fees probably I would be due as far as that goes. But I'm sure there's some way of adjusting it. Maybe we adjust the next ones. I don't know. I just think some way of, or crediting things. I'm not sure how we go about it. And that would be more, I guess, on the select board end. But I just think it's a discussion that as a community, it'd be good for both boards to have.
Mr. Chairman, are you ready for a comment from the live chat?
Absolutely.
From Scott Dill. Hi, Tom. The 10,000 recreation line is the contribution of the 30,000 for irrigation at Gilman Waite, I believe in reference to capital items.
Okay, so that irrigation was started in an article back in 2018. That's that project. That's when that started. I don't know if this is from a line item back in 2018.
We'll see if Scott has a reply.
Okay.
Yes, this is a reply.
Okay. I didn't realize the irrigation project had started back that far back. Coming down the road, I think it actually was discussed a little bit the last select board meeting. They're looking to potentially change the amounts going into stabilization and the CAPEX contributions.
Hopefully they're going up.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What they're looking to do is, I think it was to change from 1% to 2% and 2% to 8%, although there was some discussion on varying degrees on when it should come out and how much should come out. Once we have a full board, I think we'll have a pretty decent discussion on that. I think we all have some opinions on that. As Tony said, I think hopefully it does. It definitely needs to go up. Although at the same time, I think with everything going on, I'd caution it going up too fast. Maybe we could slowly build our increases versus, okay, we've got extra money, let's suddenly do a huge increase and then need it. So I think we get, pace ourselves, not completely outpace the money that we do have. So I think, again, maybe once we have the full board, we'll discuss it and have a full vote on it as far as our, just our recommendation. We don't set the policy, but it's good. It's good that we've been approached to discuss it. I think that's important that we should be involved in the finances. Will said last time, as we all have said. And I think that working with the Board of Selectmen, I think it's it's a good step for the community. It's a good step for our committee. There's no need for us to, we may be here to be the, as Will puts it, the watchdogs, but we don't need to be the grumpy watchdogs. We can work with everybody and still move things forward. And we don't have to butt heads. We can actually put our heads together and maybe solve some things here in the community. So, in my ever so humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But the one other thing that I did notice that I'd like to say tonight, and is as we're looking through some of the reports, the weekly reports, and that I kind of picked up on something from TCTV, and I wanted to publicly say a thank you to Steve and Hannah for they've really stepped up with the meetings. This went from a meeting here and there that they had to just record to suddenly now they got Zoom invites and these things going out and these things being recorded, and this meeting, and we need 3 meetings today and this board's got to do it. So I publicly like to thank them, because I think without the hard work that they've put in as a community, we'd be very much behind the 8 ball during this pandemic, because seeing how many people have watched these meetings and how many thousands of views the YouTube feeds have had, it's a heck of a lot more people than would be attending a meeting sitting in front of in town hall. So I know it's a little more impersonal, but I think if one positive thing's going to come out of this pandemic, it's to see how many things can actually be done so that more people can be involved. People may not want to go sit at 6 o'clock in town hall, but while they're cooking dinner, they may throw the meeting on and watch it. And I think that's important because they're still being informed. So hopefully some things continue. I really enjoy having advisory on the Zoom. I know it's, again, like I said, it's not personal necessarily, but, we don't need to sit and hug each other to make financial decisions. We can make them and try to get people on the board, hopefully, and, move forward. I think that's a way of getting people on the boards too, is, for them to know that they can do the meeting. And then, if they have to step out for a child care reason or something for a few minutes, they could. So I just wanted to thank you guys. That's without being able to vote on a lot of the stuff, I really
wanted to bring up a couple things, Tom.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, first, kind of look out on the select board meeting Monday. I believe there's going to be a recommendation to end the IMA with Hubbardston and the town accountant. So we'll see how that turns out. I think it's a good idea. I didn't think it was a good deal for the town. Had it been a better deal for the town, I just think it's costing the town money. So I'm kind of happy that may be something that's happening. And also there's another issue that's pending, and a lot of people may not know it, about up on Caruth Road, which is near Brooks Village Road, a house that may go in there. And there's a lot of the local residents in that area very concerned that people are going to put a house up there, but then they're going to turn it into a group home. So they're doing all the things to put a house up there, and then once it's there, they're going to change it to a group home. There's been a lot of emails to the town hall on that, and I think it's just something we should keep an eye on.
I have heard some of that on that home. I don't know, and without knowing much about the whole situation, I'm not sure what teeth a lot of once the house is built and sold, I don't know. It's a lot of weird laws with group homes, and there's a lot of group homes out there that people don't even realize is a group home.
Yep.
Be interesting to see how that plays out as far as town-wise goes, but
yep.
Sometimes it's hard to see how that actually works, depending on on the group home.
Right. My goal is just kind of make sure the board was aware of it. There's really not a lot we can do, or haven't been asked to look into anything or anything like that. It's just more of an awareness.
I mean, financially, we don't really spend too much additional on group homes. But like anything else, people don't necessarily want things in their backyard either. So I understand that concept also. So hopefully we'll see how it goes and go from there on that.
Yep. That's all I had.
Okay. Do you have anything tonight, Amy, that...
No, I don't have anything tonight, but thank you for sending the emails, and thanks to the department heads that actually sent responses. We've been told by various sources, either on the committee or from other places, that we're not doing our jobs, that we're not watching money, we're not asking questions. So, really, I felt like it was a very small thing to ask. It's just to follow up with people and say, what's this about? And I followed your discussion. I watched the recording of the meeting, and I just think we have a responsibility to not try to guess. It's really important that we have facts. Yes, we're educated townspeople, we're adults, we have jobs. I understand, like, we can put two and two together, but I think part of being that watchdog is to not guess. Like, we should be told information, and the lines of communication should be very open and very clear. We're not out to get anybody. We're just a group of people that stood up and said, okay, well, look at that. And, to be constantly treated as if we're trying to be a guard dog, not a watchdog, it feels really frustrating sometimes. So we need two more people to serve on this committee. And our job is really just to look at stuff, honestly. And for me, it couldn't be easier because we're using Zoom and because we have this privilege of PCTV doing such a great job. It's really pretty simple. I think the time investment is minimal, and the reward is great because we're working together to create a better town for everybody. So that's all I got.
No, I definitely agree with that, Amy. So hopefully we can fill those slots and get somebody that's interested in helping out, and we'll move forward with that. Anyone have anything else? No?
Would you like a comment from YouTube, Mr. Chairman?
Certainly.
This is from TCTV, and it says, thank you to your committee for your recognition. It is our pleasure to serve Templeton.
You're welcome. All right. If no one has anything else, we really can't take a motion to adjourn and a vote, so I guess I'll do it. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.
Have a good night, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.